Hello, investors. Welcome to the channel where I use technical analysis to find possible swing trades. Today, we're taking a look at Canadian National Railway, ticker symbol CNI. This is, as the name suggests, a railroad company. And I've had my eye on this company for quite some time. And I put a price alert in at $110 a share. And today, or yesterday, it fell below my $110 per share buy signal. This pullback makes me want to look further into the company now. And if you know anything about the railroads, you know that there are very few major railroads that cover all of North America. I believe there are only 5. And because of the heavy regulation and legislation regarding railroads, there's not going to be any more. There's simply no way for another railroad to come to light with anything close to a market share that would challenge one of the big 5 railroad companies. So essentially what you have here is an oligopoly on all rail transport. And since rail transport is the most efficient form of land transport, they control most of the freight that moves around from Canada, US, and Mexico. And Canadian National Railway is one of these big 5 companies. You can see over here on the right side is a large cap company with a market cap just short of $73 billion. And here we are on the annual chart for Canadian National. You'll see it is well below all the major moving averages. Posted 2 big red candles the last 2 trading days. And I'll point out that whenever you have one of these big moves in Canadian National, it does recover. It has. The only time it hasn't is, of course, this most recent one. So you get this big move down here, and about a month later, it moved back up and get a big move down here. It recovered about 80% of the share price there. And similarly, here's a big fall, and it recovered. It took about 3 months there. So if it continues to follow this pattern, then it should recover some of that share price loss. I'm going to zoom out just for a moment here. As you can see, the share price has been trading between about $110 and $130 a share for the last 3 years or so. About over 90% of the time, it has remained within that range. So we are just edging out of that range now to the low side. So again, if it keeps the similar pattern it's had over the last few years, we should be able to recover some of that share price within the next few weeks or months. Of course, past performance does not indicate future performance, and you can't say that it will absolutely follow the same pattern. But since we have nothing else to judge the company's performance on, and we know that, as I said, Canadian National is part of an oligopoly that controls all railroad traffic in North America, it does seem likely that the company's share price will continue to grow over time. I'm going to shorten this back to the annual chart. We'll scroll down. You can see the RSI is quite low, not quite in the oversold zone yet, but is certainly heading that way. The stochastics, on the other hand, are in the oversold zone. They have not turned up yet. The volume chart shows a giant spike in selling pressure. And I should point out that this rapid drop in share price is not correlated to any news that I could find. I looked down the websites for news regarding the company, and I found nothing. So this just seems to be a market aberration. And the MACD, it looked like it was going to have a bullish cross, and it immediately turned around. And now we had a bearish cross. But it was a really rapid turnaround. It looks like it was one trading day where it went from a bullish cross to a bearish cross. So that could certainly swing back the other way kind of rapidly. You see that if you look here, it happened a couple of times on the chart where it crossed one way and then in a very short period of time crossed the other way. And it does seem to be common with this particular company on the MACD. And if we switch over here to E-Trade to have the fundamentals sheet up here, see it does not list any short interest. The institutional ownership is solid at almost 73%. And this is a really interesting company. It feels like it's all or average. And you'll see what I mean as we go through these metrics. Debt to equity shows it has average debt. PE ratio, average PE. I'm gonna cherry pick these today for a reason you'll see. Growth rate is average. And then we look at profitability here. The gross margin is average. Then we look at the operating margin, and it is best in class. Operating margin beats out 100% of its peers. Return on equity beats out 100% of its peers. Dividend yield beats out 100% of its peers. So all these metrics are either average or they beat out everybody. Just real quick, I'll go over the stats for those who may not be watching. The gross margin of just over 73% is average. Operating margin of 40% is excellent. As I said, best in class. The PE is just shy of 20, and that's average for the industry. The return on equity is just a bit short of 25%, and that is best in class, beating out 100% of other companies. And the dividend is 2.1% with a 38% payout ratio. So dividend is solid and it is quite secure. So I am certainly interested in buying Canadian National. How about you? Please let me know in the comments below. And remember, none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I make these videos for education, information, and discussion. But if you got something out of the video, I would appreciate it if you'd hit the like button and subscribe to help out the channel. If you enjoy this kind of content, please hit the bell notification to be alerted when new videos post. Also, if you'd like me to take a look at a particular company using the indicators I present here, just mention that in the comments, and I'll try to get to it as soon as I can. That's all for today. Thanks for watching, and good luck with all your investments.